The Ancient's World. Chapter 51, The Story Quest I. My first stop is the cartography shop here in Glender. I know that the first dungeon I need to go to is located a few hundred miles southwest of Glender. The map will help me pinpoint its exact location. Once I get the story quest from the dungeon, I'll have 2 more dungeons to face and a secret boss. The original person who did this said that despite it being a story quest, the only real hard part was the secret boss. Apparently it has skills that make it really hard to kill, but my class should make up for that. Even though I'm only using 1 sword now, I'll easily take this guy out. Speaking of skills, I need to get new attacking ones other than slash. It will really boost my combat efficiency and improve the rate I kill things. First things first, getting that map. I make my way to the commercial district of Glender and see plenty of stores. When I spot the store I'm looking for, I notice that it has players also trying getting maps. I make my way in and I hear an argument between one of the players and the owner of the shop. Your maps are way too expensive. How are we supposed to get out of this damn area if you won't give us a map? It's only 5 gold, most players should have that by now. I believe that the majority of players have found out these aren't dumb AI and are more complex than that. Looking at their gear, they are around level 13 or 14. Newer players looking to leave their starting city. So that explains the gold problem. The older woman working the front desk looks very scared. I can step in if need be, but sometimes waiting for the right moment is a good thing. If you can't afford the price, then find someone else with a better value. Giving lip to people who can't really die is not such a good idea. I watch the leader of the group of 4 reach for his one-handed axe. I think this has gone far enough. I step up behind the leader and hold the arm that is holding the weapon. He looks at me with anger and frustration. He tries to pull his arm out from my grasp. There is 0 movement coming from his struggles. My strength stat is overwhelming to most player nowadays. Let me go. He tries to intimidate me, but that isn't going to work on a veteran. You really want to lose your levels, hey? Get him. His friends start to attack me with all their might. The poor older lady is shaking in fear. However, my high armor rating is taking most of the damage. Put that together with my healing boost and my HP bar is barely moving. I look at this guy's gamer tag as they continue to attack me. I use inspect to see who this guy is. T.A.W LVL.14. 2,400/2,400 HP. Description: a fellow player who has a low reputation among the NPC. He is in a state of rage at your behavior towards him. I might as well kill these guys before they inspect me and learn who I am. Good thing they are focused on trying to kill me and not paying attention to the real details. I quickly draw the witness and begin using normal attacks to dispatch of them quickly. T.A.W LVL.14. 2,400/2,400 HP. You have dismembered the target's waist. You have ignored armor. -8,850. +40 EXP. Your mother LVL.13. 2,000/2,000 HP. You have dismembered the target's chest. You have ignored armor. -8,850. +30 EXP. The last of them see that they are no match for me and burst out of the shop in a hurry. I look around and see their bodies before they disappear. I only pick up the gold they dropped and place 5 on the counter. I save the rest for myself. I need a map on the area known as Flower Forest. She looks at me in slight shock, and instead of asking me what happened, she immediately goes into the back and returns with the map I needed and hands it to me. I leave the shop without saying anything else. I won't have to worry about people pursuing me since none of them inspected me. Those players will probably make it back here pretty fast, so I leave the scene and head to the guards' training ground. The vendor is here somewhere. I look around and notice a small group of players getting some skills from a guy in captain's armor. These skills aren't great, but they are probably better than slash. I make my way up to the guard as well, and I can see the annoyance on his face. Not another one. I swear these new people are getting on my nerves. I can tell this guy deals with a lot of people just by the look in his eyes and sound of his voice. He must be in charge of training the guards. So he must have great skills. I walk up to him and look him dead in the eye. You got any good blade skills? He is very tired of hearing that by the sounds of it. He takes out some scrolls from his inventory and there is only one that catches my eye. How much for the double strike? I don't really see enough of these sold. Most don't use the skill because of its long cooldown, but when you have damage such as mine you can really reap the rewards. He looks at me with a little bit of surprise. Guess players think it's a useless skill. He puts the other ones away and looks me up and down. That will be 15 silver. I don't have any silver, but I have some gold left from the guys I killed earlier. I hand a gold piece to the man and take the scroll from his hand and walk off. I open the scroll and get a new notification. This is one of the great things about being a player. You have learned the skill, Double Strike, active. Description: strike 2 times every attack instead of 1. Lasts 15 seconds. Cooldown, 90 seconds. This skill has great synergy with other skills like Slash. From now on, every time I use an attack and activate Double Strike beforehand, I hit twice per swing. This will make up for some of the lost damage. Dual wielding has an incredible weakness with it: you can't learn any blocking skills while using it. Parry is different because you are moving the direction of the other blade with your own. Blocking skills are much more useful than parry. Now I could learn some blocking skills, but I think using parry for now is just fine. It's easier to use with one blade than with two. You still have to be good at using the skill, not just activating it will work. That's another advantage I have: I know how most great skills work in Ancient's world. Therefore no need to practice. That is actually saving my ass right now. A lot of players have to practice and get used to a new skill before they use it. Now that I have gained a little bit of EXP and a new skill, I should check my character stats. I open my player interface and see where I'm at. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.22. EXP, 12,950/24,000. Title: The Son of Archangel Michael, hidden, +3 more. Stats: Strength, 850 Endurance, 800 Dexterity, 805 Speed, 920 Focus, 7,300. Health, 6,600/6,600 Mana, 73,000/73,000. Stat points: 30 Armor rating, 500. Inventory. Passive perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver. Active skills: Heaven's Light, LVL.4325/400, Protected by Heaven, LVL.4225/400/LVL.11900/2000, Parry, LVL.180/100, Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A. Now that I have everything I need, I should make my way to the Flower Forest. The first hidden dungeon is there, and that is the place where I can find the story quest. On my way out of the guards training yard, I see a familiar face. Looks like Cusco James made it back, and along with the important person they were escorting. I can see the butler and lady talking to the commander of the guards, telling them what happened. As I am about to turn and leave, Cusco looks over in my direction and has a look of surprise. Everyone there also looks over to me, and the butler gives a thankful smile in my direction. I reciprocate the nice gesture and wave goodbye. I turn around and start to walk away, then I hear a feminine voice call out to me. "Hold on. I want to talk to you." She made it loud to the point I can't ignore her. I stop in my tracks and turn around to see the lady running towards me. I don't know what she wants, but she better make it quick. She catches up and is standing across from me. She is much shorter than I am, but a little taller than most women. I wanted to say thank you for saving our caravan. Is that it? I don't have time for this. I turn around and start walking away. I hear a slight huff behind me, but I have bigger fish to fry than to talk to some snotty lady. How rude. That is the last thing I hear before she runs back to the little conversation they were having. I have a journey that will take a couple of days, but at least I won't have any interruptions this time around. As Sarum makes his way to the front gate of Glendor, another conversation is happening between the people he saved. I can't believe he can be so rude when someone of my status talks to him. I understand not liking my family or nobles, but at least say something. A beautiful princess deserves something like that. I turn to Commander Hammond and nod for him to continue. The orcs are preparing their armies, they will begin to move in a few days. It would probably be good for you to return to the capital, it will be safer there than here. The coming war is on everybody's minds right now. Many women and children are scared. The orc species is very notorious about how they treat prisoners. I hope that the gods shine favor on us. We need all the help we can get. Chapter 52, The Story Quest 2. I have everything I need for this trip. It would be fast if I had a mount, but I'm running for now. If I go full speed I can probably get there by tomorrow morning if I pull another all-nighter. However, pulling all-nighters back to back isn't something that I'm fond of. So I'll go until nightfall today and get a full night's rest tonight. The place I'm going has a very deceiving name, despite being called Flower Forest. Many would think that it's a harmless forest full of flowers, however this forest is particularly nasty in the fact that the flora tries to kill you. A mage's experiment went wrong and destroyed the peace of the forest. Now anything that goes in usually doesn't come out. The history of the mage that did this isn't well known, only that he was a master mage studying the effects of grey lizard spinal fluid on the plants. I don't know what he did or how he did it, but the result was a forest full of pissed off plants. I can see why mages are generally disliked, they aren't treated like a plague or lepers. Although if you have the slightest stain on your reputation as a mage then you will be treated differently. It really depends on the severity of the act. I'm sure whomever did the experiment in the flower forest was casted out of society. I've been running for only a few minutes, but I'm already bored. Hopefully I run into some action on my way to the first hidden dungeon. This trip will be extremely boring, but I'm glad that I won't need a map to find the other two since they are a double dungeon. A double dungeon is exactly how it sounds, but one important piece of information is that double dungeons need a way to activate. They don't just happen randomly. The first half of the key for the double dungeon is located in the dungeon boss's room in the flower forest. Double dungeons are very rare since most bosses don't like to share their territories. Only a powerful boss can suppress another in a dungeon, and the funny part is I'll still have to kill the hidden boss in another location. Story quests are meant to be long and grueling tasks since they affect the world. Most don't know this yet, but if you do complete a story quest you will have access to better quests as you level up. That is a problem for me since I have no information about them. Once I start doing those special quests I'll have to find the answers on my own. I got lucky that Flint had what I needed for my legendary quest. The worst part about all this is the half EXP. If I didn't have to deal with half EXP I would be in the 60s by now. I can't see how Blue Chaos did this all by himself, either he had help or he never left the game to rest. He never posted deep lore about the class, but he always posted things about the tier-up quests and how he overcame certain obstacles. I will surely find things out about the class that was never posted. I can see why so many were jealous of him. He didn't reveal his identity, he was sold out just like Stubtoe was. I won't make the same mistake. They thought playing solo wasn't necessary at one point and they had made friends. They were wrong about that. I get playing solo in any game is a challenge no matter what MMO it is. On to another topic that caused much distrust in the communities are the old titans of the game industry. One of the biggest titans of the gaming industry fell because of their bad reputation. That was over 150 years ago though, I believe it was called Activision. I have read many old articles about the fall of Activision and how bad they really were. They almost fell as hard as 2K, but that is a story about greed. The reason for all the distrust among players comes from the history of game development. There are new laws in place to stop what happened, but even a century and a half later a bad taste is still left in people's mouths. I have trust issues as well. I was backstabbed and betrayed in my old future as well. I learned that you can't trust anyone that plays Ancient's World, because they are trying to make a living just like you. NPC followers will eventually be unlocked, but that's at level 200. I take my mind off of the thought-numbing run and think about other things. Time passes and I finally come across some action. Monsters fighting a group of players on the tree lines border of a forest. I have to cut through multiple forests to get to my destination, and this is the first one. Looks like they got overrun and left the forest thinking they wouldn't follow. They are sorely mistaken. I'm just going to wait till they all get killed and finish what they started. I'm not in the mood to deal with players trying to befriend someone stronger than them. I get low in the tall grass and watch the fight unfold. They seem to be lower levels, probably coming to a place with higher enemies to power level. As I watch, a world announcement goes off. Worldwide announcement: the orc armies have openly declared war on humanity. Once you are level 50 tier 1 you can participate in the war. Many of the player are going to be excited about the opportunity to level up and get stronger using the war. The NPCs on the other hand are going to have it rough till this war ends. If I knew how to end the war before it starts I would've. The forums had no answer for this event, so I guess once I'm level 50 and finished my tier 1 quest I can help in the war. Zenith's war has come to a standstill from what I have noticed. There have been no updates as of late. Guess the king of Zenith is smarter than he let on. The players that were fighting the monsters got distracted and died. They should have focused on the fight and not the world announcement. Now that they are gone I can take the leftovers and gain some EXP. I rush out of the tall grass and draw the witness. I recognize these monsters as bloated pigmen, scouts for the orc armies. Probably looking for weaknesses in the cities they are going to attack. As I reach them and start killing I activate double strike and the 15 seconds start. Bloated pigmen LVL.25. 18,000/18,000 HP. You have ignored armor. You have struck 4 times. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. Plus 200 EXP. I used 2 normal attacks and that stacked to 4 with double strike. I have 3 more targets left and continue my assault. They are all the same level so this should go by fast. Bloated pigmen LVL.25. 18,000/18,000 HP. You have dismembered the target's torso. You have ignored armor. You have struck 4 times. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. Plus 200 EXP. Bloated pigmen LVL.25. 18,000/18,000 HP. You have dismembered the target's waist. You have ignored armor. You have struck 4 times. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. Plus 200 EXP. Bloated pigmen LVL.25. 18,000/18,000 HP. You have dismembered the target's upper chest. You have ignored armor. You have struck 4 times. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. -8,850. Plus 200 EXP. I have eliminated all the scouts just as my double strike ends. This takes the effort out of prolonged combat and I love it. I want to see where my EXP is at and I open my stat panel. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.22. EXP, 13,750/24,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden, plus 3 more. Stats. Strength, 850 Endurance, 800 Dexterity, 805 Speed, 920 Focus, 7,300. Health, 6,600/6,600 Mana, 73,000/73,000. Stat points, 30 Armor rating, 500. Inventory. Passive perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver. Active skills. Heaven's Light LVL.4325/400 Protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400/LVL.11900/2000 Parry LVL.180/100 Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A. I got almost 1000 EXP for that. These are one of the weakest soldiers in the Orc army. The army is obviously ready for war. I can see why so many are worried about them. I hate goblins in particular. Disgusting little things. I'll take pleasure in killing any goblin. Their lore complements their disgusting behavior and nature. I won't go into it now. I still need to cover distance before nightfall. It has already been a few hours getting to this tree line. I'll have to make sure to find a place of high ground once inside the forest so I don't get killed when I log off. I could take the items they dropped, but these players were very weak. As I continue to look around, I notice a note that one of the bloated pigmen dropped. I pick it up and immediately notice that these are instructions on defenses and formations of neighboring cities and of Glender. This is valuable information. After a couple seconds of reading, I get a system notification. Quest, A Devastating Blow. Description: You have found a valuable piece of information on the upcoming war. These orders were given by an Orc general by the name of Glo. If you eliminate him before the war starts, a crippling blow will be dealt to the Orcs' army. Warning: target is a much higher level than you. You have the power to kill him, but you will more than likely die. Objective 1, head to the hidden camp marked on your map. Objective 2, kill General Glo of the Orc armies. Quality: Savior, hidden. Rewards: hidden. Do you wish to accept the quest? Y/N. I have a very strange feeling about this whole situation. Why would this show up right after my previous desire to end the war before it began? The fact that it's a savior difficulty worries me. It is a difficulty between legendary and divine. The quality only appears in the form of quests. I heard that it can be harder or easier than a legendary quest. It really comes down to your choices. I look at the camp on my map and it's coincidentally on the way to my goal. This is pretty fishy. Either a higher being is pulling some strings or I have stupid luck. My divine class does give me access to special mission only I can do. Maybe this one of them. I think yes, and a new quest is added to my interface. Chapter 53, The Story Quest 3. I've been traveling for the last few hours and the sun is starting to set over the horizon. I have been through multiple forests at this point and I'm probably only a few more hours away. I have come across a problem though. An Orc camp is standing in my way. I didn't think they would bring so many soldiers for a recon mission. I can use this to my advantage and start slaughtering these guys. I don't know how many there are though, so I'll hold off on that approach. An Orc general is a powerful boss, and is above level 50. With all my active skills being used I can kill him. Getting to him will be the problem. I inspect some of the common guards around the general's tent. Orc Guard of Glo LVL 65 Tier 1 Elite. 2,450,000/2,450,000 HP. Description: Guard to the Orc General Glo. This target is a much higher level than you and all enemies in the current area can kill you in one hit. I have 3 options here. The first is using the pride of orcs against them and challenge Glo to a one-on-one to the death, while that could work Glo would probably refuse. The second option is sneaking into his private tent that is being guarded and off him with a surprise attack with all my skills. My third and easiest option is using Fenrir's whistle and have Fenrir kill everything here. With that option I miss out on all the possible EXP. I also don't want to abuse the item Fenrir gave me. He thinks very highly of me, and if I use him to kill some orcs I will probably lose reputation with him. I have a major disadvantage in that I don't know any lore about Glo. Thinking about it, I just came up with a great idea. I open the player interface and go into the auction house. Once in the tab I search for lore on Glo. Only one scroll pops up and it's relatively cheap. I can use the rest of the gold I got from those players I killed. I purchase the scroll and it shows up in my inventory. I take it out and begin to read it. Recounts of the notable orc generals. Glo is a mastermind of combat and large battles. He earned his rank of general after killing the old general in combat. Glo will accept challenges from those that he deems worthy. For this is the way of the orcs, however only other orcs can challenge one another. If another of a different race wants to challenge a high-ranking official, then they need an orc to vouch for them. Article by Jasmine the Royal Witch. This really puts a wrench into the first option. I doubt I could get him to accept my challenge. I also don't think any of the orcs in the camp would vouch for a stranger that is part of the race they have declared war on. So that really only leaves sneaking into his tent and killing him fast enough before reinforcements help him. If it comes down to a life or death situation, then I will call Fenrir. I will not lose players' levels in this critical stage of the game. I have a plan now, although a major hole exists in my plans. I don't have a stealth skill, so that means I'll have to do a skill check and pick a number like when I was sneaking around in Joshua's pub. I wait until night and it's dark enough for me to get around better. I slowly make my way through the camp and take my time making sure I don't get caught. I can see Glo's tent and the guards look to be sleeping while standing up. I slowly make my way over to the tent, but before I can make it, a guard patrol gets in the way. Then I get a notification from the system. System skill check, pick a number between 1 and 100 to pass this stealth check. If you are within 10 points of the actual number you will pass the stealth check. This one is more difficult than the last time I had to do this. There was a lack of security last time. I have a low percent to get this right, but it's not 0. The system is using player data and probability. If I think like the system would, I can probably get really close to the answer. So taking that into account, I can say that the most common numbers picked are the ones close to 50. Using that logic, anything between 40 and 60 is eliminated. Most players pick those numbers and the system knows this. That means 40 and lower are options as well as 60 and higher. Players and humans in general don't like big numbers, it's in our nature. So that means players would pick lower than 40 more often than higher than 60. So I won't pick any numbers below 60. That leaves me with 4 options now, and the closer you get to the end or beginning of the scale, the less likely a person is to pick a really high or low number. If I pick 70, then I'll probably miss the right score, so it really comes down to getting closer to 90 or getting closer to 60. I know I'm running out of time here, so I'll just go with 78. I think 78 is my answer and I get a notification from the system. Calculating. You have met the parameters set to pass this stealth check. I watch the patrol of orcs move on and I breathe a sigh of relief. I'm so close to that tent I can almost feel my actual heartbeat. I continue using the dark to sneak through the camp and I'm eventually behind the general's tent. I have 2 options here. I can try to pass the sleeping orcs out front, or I can sneak under the tent by lifting it up a little. Going by those sleeping orc are a big risk, so I'll just go under. I silently make my way up to the back of the tent and I lift it very slowly. I peek inside to see where the general is at. I see an orc bigger than the others and wearing better gear than the rest of the soldiers. I use inspect on him fast and drop the tent so he doesn't notice me. I read the information from the system and can't help having some doubt. General Glo LVL.85 Tier 1 Boss. 5,000,000/5,000,000 HP. Description: Orc General Glo is one of the leading figures in the upcoming war. His plans and information are key to the orcs winning. He is suspicious because he felt something inspect him, but didn't see the perpetrator in his private tent. 5 million damage is doable. If I use all my skills and start attacking without holding off, then he will die in time. The problem is how many I have to kill after him. It's more than enough time to call for backup. I have only so much time before my skills go into long cooldowns. So time to make a pivotal decision here. Do I rush him now or wait till he sleeps to get in some bonus damage? Who knows when he'll sleep, and I'm also getting very tired. I've made my decision and I'm going to attack now. I brace myself and prepare my mind to activate skills. I count down to myself. This is something I would have never done in my old future. 4, 3, 2, 1. I lift the back of the tent fast and draw my legendary blade along with activating my skills. I can see the surprise on his face, but I unleash heavy damage as my powerful skills eat at his health as he tries to block and parry. However, all his retaliation is for naught since Raging Machine turns all incoming damage into health. General Glo LVL.85 Tier 1 Boss 5,000,000/5,000,000 HP. Dismemberment failed because of level difference. You have ignored armor. You have struck 6 times with slash. -716,297. Dismemberment failed because of level difference. You have ignored armor. Curse of Decomposition has activated. Target will lose 3% health every second. -716,297. Dismemberment failed because of level difference. You have ignored armor. -716,297. Dismemberment failed because of level difference. You have ignored armor. -716,297. Dismemberment failed because of level difference. You have ignored armor. -716,297. Dismemberment failed because of level difference. You have ignored armor. -716,297. Dismemberment failed because of level difference. You have ignored armor. Double Strike really did an amazing job. This is the first time I get to see Curse of Decomposition, and I'm sure that it's the strongest I've ever seen. I used every single active skill I had except parry. I did 4,297,782 damage, putting out all the power I currently have. General Glo looks worse for wear right now and is covered in blood. I watch him run out of the tent and call for help. Soldiers, we have cough, an intruder. He is near death from the curse eating him alive. I still have a lot more time, so I can probably annihilate this entire camp with all this power. I rush out of the tent and the whole camp is here and ready to fight. I see the rotting form of the general and watch as he dies from the dot. I get a system notification, but I ignore it for now. I also didn't get any EXP for killing him, so that means he doesn't drop EXP since the rewards are so good from the quest. Now I got some pigs to slaughter. I hate orcs almost as much as I hate goblins. I begin to slice and dice until it is done. I kill every single orc in the camp a minute before Heaven's Light runs out. I got no EXP for any of the kills. So that means all of these enemies were counted towards something regarding the reward. With the ringing of my ears gone and clearing of my eyes and face of blood, I hear the ongoing system announcement. Worldwide system announcement: the son of Archangel Michael has slayed the Orc General Glo. The Orc forces have been severely weakened. Worldwide announcement: the son of Archangel Michael is the first player to defeat a boss of a higher tier. All players will receive a 2x EXP boost to use at any time. World mission announcement: the Church of Light has increased its search by 5x and massively increased the rewards for any information on the son of Archangel Michael. World mission announcement: the Church of the Dark Ones have increased its search by 10x and will reward a legendary class for the capture of the son of Archangel Michael. World Mission Announcement: anyone who brings the son of Archangel Michael to the leaders of the orcs will receive a legendary chest piece. It's late now and I can't help the mental and psychical exhaustion from happening. I fall on my back and look up at the stars as my body aches from using so much power. I have never had a challenge like this in my entire time playing Ancient's World, and now I understand why Blue Chaos grew so fast. He got missions like this and went through things of similar nature. I'm sad that I couldn't fully stop the war, but I made some serious damage. I think about my rewards, but I'm too tired to even move. I slowly close my eyes and begin to sleep. The system automatically logs me off and I sleep in my gaming pod for the night. As Sarah sleeps in the real world, a familiar hermit is looking at the bloody camp that is covered in guts and organs. I can't help but be impressed by the young man. He hasn't even begun to scratch his power and he can face such a challenge with courage unseen before. He really has unlimited potential. I can see why he didn't hesitate to take the quest. I must admit that I was hesitant to allow such circumstances, but I trusted my gut and now I'm certain that he will succeed. I walk over to the sleeping boy and pick him up. His legendary sword is quick to try and defend him, but I put it to sleep and place it in its sheath. I'll make sure you sleep somewhere safe tonight. I teleport us close to his current destination, that is the flower forest, and I place a protective barrier around him so nothing attacks him while he sleeps. My work is done here and now it's time for me to focus on my mission. Chapter 54, The Story Quest 4. I hear the muffled sound of my alarm going off. I open my eyes and see that I slept in my gaming pod all night. I'm a little stiff some places, but getting up and moving around should fix that problem. I feel much more rested this time around. Sleep has eluded me all my life. Getting a night's rest is hard and I find myself sleeping more often lately now that my stress is gone. I open my gaming pod and head over to my alarm to turn it off. It's the time I usually get up and I can smell Mom's delicious food from here. We can buy better food now that we have money. I hope one day Mom will sit down and let someone cook for her instead. I hop into my personal shower and enjoy the better water pressure. The things that I missed out on in my old life are not going to slip by this time around. I get all cleaned up and dressed. I make my way out of my room and I travel the long path to the kitchen. I enter the living room and see the kitchen full of food that is being cooked. Instead of sitting down and watching the news on Ancient's World, I just turn it on and make it loud enough to hear from the kitchen. You want any help, Mom? There is a lot of food here and I can help with some of the simple stuff. Thinking about it, we would starve without Mom. As she prepares her answer, I hear the reporter do some takes about new information. Players were excited about the event of the Orc army, but the son of Archangel Michael has thoroughly put a wrench in everyone's plan. I ignore what my mom says and I turn to the TV in disappointment. If only they knew what they were saying right now. Players don't give NPCs values and opinions any stock. This will cause much friction once the player base begins to get stronger as a whole. I stopped a lot of problems from happening by doing that to the orcs. In my distracted state, my mom whacks the top of my head with her wooden spoon. You ask if you can help, then you don't even listen. I want you to grab me the flour in the cupboard over there. I rub the top of my head and listen to my mom. I have no problems getting it. I can see why she asked for help though. She is too short and can't reach this high. I bring it back over and continue to listen to the news. The news station changes to a reporter outside of JNX Incorporated. You don't see this every day and they only go there when they have questions to ask a high-ranking official. It was here late last night when a system malfunction caused a temporary blackout at JNX. This is something that hasn't happened before and I can honestly say I have a bad feeling about this. The system should be incapable of malfunctions. Whatever happened last night at JNX had never happened in the future. I leave the kitchen and sit down to listen to the rest of the report. James Raymond had this to say. It was just a glitch in the system since the player base has doubled in recent days. There is nothing to worry about. Many experts are discrediting this statement, saying it's impossible for such a thing to occur. I don't know the inner workings of hyper-intelligent A.I.s that run systems, but that does sound like something that can't happen. That is a propaganda answer. Whatever happened can't be released to the public. I hope this wasn't caused by my actions and effects on the timeline. As Sarah watches the news and catches up on information about Ancient's world, James Raymond is on the phone with Xander. I have no answer for Xander and I have no solution for what has happened. We have lost all control of the system and it's acting of its own accord now. I'm waiting for a response from the silent person on the other end of the phone. Yes, sir. I'll make sure nothing gets released to the public. At this point there is no good news. All information about that player has been denied by the system. We have no idea who he is. Yes, sir. He is the first to hang up and I can't stop my rage from boiling over. I pick up my glass of whiskey and down it in just a few seconds. I slam it down on the table and it breaks. I was told this scenario wouldn't happen. Now that it has, there is no stopping it. I lose my rage and I'm left with an empty feeling. All we can do is pray that it does not happen, and all I can do with my authority is hope that I die before it happens. While the chaos at JNX ensues, there is an emergency meeting at the Church of Light. The first to speak is the King of Vittersful, Jack Kensur IV. I understand that you want to use our forces to search for the sun, but the war is still a possibility. I will not compromise my country's security for your desperate search. There is a disagreement between the leader of Vittersful and the Pope. The Church is beginning to lose its reputation among the rulers, and it's their own fault. Many of the rulers present are silent at the words of Jack Kensur. Many didn't want to say what he said. They were thinking the same thing though. The world they live in is changing and they are preparing for it as well. The one who is looking like the living dead from lack of sleep is Saintess Lucy. She was tasked with searching the county of Vittersful for the sun. I have looked at every city near Eclipse and I have no leads. If I have your help then we will eventually find a trail. Someone as strong as him will slip up soon. Everyone in the room can feel the pressure that the Saintess is admitting. Many of the rulers are sick and tired of this goose chase, and many have planned something without the Church's knowledge. The first to stand is Gregory Francis and with him half the room. 8 out of the 15 in this room are standing with Gregory, and the air goes cold with this move. Since the Church refuses to listen to the needs and requests of their subjects, I hereby declare the coalition of change to start now. Many of the faces in the room are shocked, most of all the Pope. As this is happening, Sarah is eating breakfast with his family. I love this part of the day. I'll do everything in my power to preserve this new life that has begun for us. I listen to my parents as they have some news for us. Your father and I have been thinking and we came to the decision that we are going to try what the hip younger kids are doing. I'm very embarrassed by her words. What they say about getting older is true. We are buying gaming pods so we can start playing Ancient's World. We are getting the new ZZR 12,000. We are also getting one for you, Sarah. Wow, they actually decided to give Ancient's World a try. The biggest surprise is the ZZR 12,000. It cost a few million apiece and it allows you to play as you sleep. It utilizes special parts of the subconscious mind to allow this. They will be here tomorrow morning and I want you to help us set them up, Sarah. I can set them up. I'm a little apprehensive about the ZZR 12,000. If I wanted to, I never have to leave Ancient's World except for food. I look over to my sister and can clearly see she is embarrassed like I am. My little brother on the other hand looks ready to cry and scream, probably because he can't join mom and dad on their adventure. I'm really happy for you guys, but be careful, alright? The first dive can be very unfamiliar and strange. I have things to do in Ancient's World, so I'll see you guys later. I put my dishes in the sink and head upstairs. I hop into my gaming pod and load into Ancient's World. Once I load in, I notice I'm not where I should be. I notice I have system notifications, but the first thing I need to check is my map. I open it and I feel slight panic. I'm right outside of the flower forest and I have no idea how I got here. I open my system notifications and start getting levels added to my player. Quest, a devastating blow completed. Description, you have found a valuable piece of information on the upcoming war. These orders were given by an orc general by the name of Glo. If you eliminate him before the war starts, a crippling blow will be dealt to the orcs' army. Objective 1, head to the hidden camp marked on your map. Completed. Objective 2, kill General Glo of the orc armies. Completed. Quality, Savior, Hidden. Rewards. Plus 10 player levels. Plus 1200 to all stats. Plus 15,000 reputation with the country of Vittersfall. Plus 20,000 reputation with the gods of light. I feel a little lightheaded reading these rewards. They are something that I have never seen before, and I know for a fact that the legendary quest I'm on will be just as good or better. The story quest I'm on won't be as diverse since it's EXP heavy, but I'm sitting pretty now. I open my player stats to see the new information. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.32. EXP, 13,750/34,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden, plus 3 more. Stats. Strength, 2050 Endurance, 2000 Dexterity, 2005 Speed, 2120 Focus, 8500. Health, 16,200/16,200 Mana, 85,000/85,000. Stat points, 130 Armor rating, 500. Inventory. Passive perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver. Active skills. Heaven's Light LVL.4325/400 protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400/LVL.11900/2000 parry LVL.180/100 double strike and/a King Slayer and/a Raging Machine and/a. I've made an incredible jump in levels. When I'm done with this story quest I'll be almost level 60. So I'll be 20 levels ahead of the best players. I also do new damage now. My base attack is 10,050. With slash that turns into 18,592, this is great for me, and if I put Heaven's Light base 250% on top of that I get 46,481.25, and if I go all out with all my skills active I'll be doing 813,422 damage. I still have to wait till my cooldowns are lifted on King Slayer and Raging Machine, but this is amazing. Chapter 55, The Story Quest V. Since I'm already at my destination and I've saved time, I can go over the lore of the dungeon and boss before I start the dungeon dive. I can feel that some of the mutated flowers and plants are patrolling the entrance to the dungeon. There aren't as many out here as there usually is. Normally the forest is full of deadly plants ready to kill and drive off invaders. I make my way to the dungeon with my sword drawn just in case I get ambushed. The lore about the dungeon itself is a pretty good size, as well as the boss. If my memory serves me right, and it usually does, then this dungeon is the birthplace of the first mutated plant and the original laboratory of the mage who did these experiments. The location is called Pit of Thorns. It's not actually a pit though. The boss monster in this dungeon is one of the offspring of the first mutated plant. Nobody knows what happened to the original mutated plant, but it was said to have 3 offspring. Its youngest resides in this dungeon. I don't know the location of the others, but they get stronger as you climb up the ladder. The boss's name is Glader. It's a one-time boss since this is a hidden dungeon and can't be done again. It also has a bunch of allies to help it during the boss fight, and I'm going to kill everything to get that extra EXP that will contribute to my level up. Once I kill the boss I need to find the hidden treasure room. Everything in that room will be cursed except for the first half of the key I need. Many of the original party's players who did this dungeon had their accounts debuffed from the cursed items and couldn't play on those characters anymore. As long as I do the same thing I did at the treasure room of the ancient ruins of the Dryads, then I'll be fine. I've been walking for a few minutes now and I can feel that I'm getting closer and closer to the entrance of the dungeon. Only 40 feet or so till I look upon the entrance. I hide behind a bush to see what I am dealing with. I part some of the branches and see 2 enemies guarding the way in. I use inspect on them and notice they are stronger than they are supposed to be. Mutated pissed off plant guard LVL 40. 500,000/500,000 HP. Description: a plant that has been changed with foul magic and genetic modifications. It is in a constant state of anger at anything not plant-based. Its health and level are higher than they should be, but in the end it just means more EXP for me. I have the witness already ready and I jump out of the bush using slash. They are much weaker than the orcs I faced, so this should go much faster. I begin to strike and deal lots of damage. Mutated pissed off plant guard LVL 40. 500,000/500,000 HP. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. The curse of decomposition has been applied. Target will lose 3% health every second. Minus 18,592. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 18,592. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 18,592. I stop attacking my first target cause the curse should work on it till it dies. Once I have the curse applied to both of these guys, then all I have to do is wait. I activate double strike for my second target and start using slash against it. Mutated pissed off plant guard LVL 40. 500,000/500,000 HP. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. The curse of decomposition has been applied. Target will lose 3% health every second. Minus 18,592. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 18,592. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 18,592. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 18,592. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 18,592. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 18,592. I struck 6 times against this target and both are dying to the curse. I just dodge the rest of the fight and wait till they both rot away from the curse. I get 2 separate system notifications since one died faster. Plus 1000 EXP. Plus 500/EXP. Plus 1000 EXP. Plus 500/EXP. My slash is only 100 EXP from reaching level 12. Getting short-changed like that really sucks, but the boss fight will level it up. I open my player stats to see the new EXP values. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.32. EXP, 15,750/34,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden, plus 3 more. Stats. Strength, 2050 Endurance, 2000 Dexterity, 2005 Speed, 2120 Focus, 8500. Health, 16,200/16,200 Mana, 85,000/85,000. Stat points, 130 Armor rating, 500. Inventory. Passive perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver. Active skills. Heaven's Light LVL.4325/400 Protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400/LVL.11/1900/2000 Parry LVL.180/100 Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A. I'm definitely going to level up from fighting this boss and its minions. Now that the entrance is clear of enemies, I can enter the dungeon. I make my way to the entrance of the old ruins of some sort of stone house. I touch the door and I get a system prompt. You are about to enter a hidden dungeon. Are you sure you want to solo this hidden dungeon? Y/N. I think yes and open the door. I walk in and I can immediately feel a bunch of monsters in this dungeon. They are all probably the same strength as the guards I fought. If any other player tried to do this at my level, they would only die, but I will utilize the curse of decomposition and wither these monsters down. I make my way through the dungeon, killing enemies and trying to find the boss room. After about 3 hours of fighting and several monsters later, I leveled up twice and leveled up /twice as well. I finally made it to the boss room, but I want to check my stats and allocate some stat points. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.34. EXP, 15,750/36,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden, +3 more. Stats. Strength, 2050 Endurance, 2000 Dexterity, 2005 Speed, 2120 Focus, 8500. Health, 16,200/16,200 Mana, 85,000/85,000. Stat points, 150 Armor Rating, 500. Inventory. Passive perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver. Active skills. Heaven's Light LVL.4325/400 Protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400/LVL.131900/4000 Parry LVL.180/100 Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A. I think putting 75 apiece in Dexterity and Speed would be a good idea. I'll have to move around a lot in the boss room fighting both monsters and the boss. I look at the new values of Dexterity and Speed. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.34. EXP, 15,750/36,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden, +3 more. Stats. Strength, 2050 Endurance, 2000 Dexterity, 2080 Speed, 2195 Focus, 8500. Health, 16,200/16,200 Mana, 85,000/85,000. Stat points, 0 Armor Rating, 500. Inventory. Passive perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver. Active skills. Heaven's Light LVL.4325/400 Protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400/LVL.131900/4000 Parry LVL.180/100 Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A. I'm ready to fight the boss now and I can't wait to get the story quest when I pick up the key. I approach the door to the boss room and open it. I'm met by an old laboratory and many enemies filling the room. I can see the boss from where I'm at. My instincts are telling me to get rid of the backup before facing the boss, so that's what I'm going to do. I inspect the boss to see what I'll be fighting. Glader LVL.55 Tier 1 Boss. 1,600,000/1,600,000 HP. Description: the youngest of the 3 offspring of the mutant plant quill. It is angry that you have trespassed on its territory and killed its offspring. It looks at me with no eyes. It's like a huge assortment of vines that has thorns on it. The closest thing I can compare this thing to is a pile of tangled cords that are vines instead. It begins to launch attacks at me, but I'm focusing on the mobs around here. I spend 45 minutes dodging the boss's attacks and killing all the minions. Once I was done with that, I leveled up my player level and /. Now that all the monsters are taken care of, it's the boss's turn. I activate Heaven's Light and Double Strike and start attacking. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. The curse of decomposition has been applied. Target will lose 3% health every second. Minus 58,565. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 52,058. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. Minus 60,424. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. 65,072. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. 51,128. This target can't be dismembered. You have ignored armor. 55,776. I've done some decent damage and now I'll just let the curse of decomposition do its thing. After a while of dodging and avoiding attacks, it loses the last of its health. I gain another level and almost level up / again. I open my player menu again to see the new values. Slayer, Zirn, LVL.36. EXP, 15,750/38,000. Title, The Son of Archangel Michael, Hidden, plus 3 more. Stats. Strength, 2050 Endurance, 2000 Dexterity, 2080 Speed, 2195 Focus, 8500. Health, 16,200/16,200 Mana, 85,000/85,000. Stat Points, 20 Armor Rating, 500. Inventory. Passive Perks. Inheritor of the Sword, Son of Heaven, Slayer of Evil, Holy Willow Trees, Savior, Finder of Legends, the Divine who has legend destined for greatness, Dungeon Diver. Active Skills. Heaven's Light LVL.4325/400 Protected by Heaven LVL.4225/400/LVL.1440/500/5000 Parry LVL.180/100 Double Strike N/A King Slayer N/A Raging Machine N/A. If I keep gaining levels like this on the story quest, I won't be able to be caught by the rest of the players. The boss doesn't drop anything good. One of the bad things about Ancient's World are the drop rates for good items. Makes it harder for everyone, including the NPCs. Now that I have time to look around, I notice an old latch that was supposed to be covered up. It looks like the entrance to the treasure room. I walk over to the latch and open it up. The room lights up and I see a bunch of strong and rare items, but they are all cursed. I'm only here for one thing, and that's the first half of the key. I look around the room and don't see what I'm looking for. I eventually find it hidden in a chest behind a false wall. Took me a minute to find it, but now I'm looking right at it. I pick it up and get a new system notification. Quest, A Glimpse of Something Unknown. Description, you have found the first half of a key that leads into a rare double dungeon. Once you retrieve the second half, you can enter the second hidden dungeon inside the dungeon known as Rock Ogre's Lair. Objective 1, find the dungeon Rock Ogre's Lair and retrieve the second half of the key. Objective 2, once you have both halves of the key, use it on the hidden dungeon in Rock Ogre's Lair. Quality, Story, Hidden. Rewards, Hidden. Do you wish to accept this quest? Y/N. I think yes, and a new quest pops up in my interface. Now it's time to get this show on the road. I still have daylight out, so I'll cover as much distance as I can before getting off. When the ZZR 12,000 comes tomorrow, I won't need to get off. Chapter 56, Completing the Story Quest. I make my way out of the hidden dungeon and out of the flower forest. Now that I have the story quest, I need to make my way back to Zenith. The dungeon that is attached to this quest is on the way back to Zenith. It's a popular dungeon for people in the 30s, but no one is strong enough to challenge it right now. I won't have to worry about people going in and out. I could be discovered if I'm not careful. I'll need to be extra mindful crossing the borders since the search for me has increased exponentially. I wonder how Blue Chaos stayed out of the hands of the church when he was revealed. While I run through forest after forest and I hear a system announcement that is very surprising. Worldwide announcement, the war in Zenith is over. Harold Marcus II has been slain and a new king will be crowned in the coming days. Worldwide announcement, an NPC by the name of Ghost Zero is the one to kill Harold Marcus II and has received the legacy class, 0 sum. Players will be able to talk to this mercenary and get quests from him. This is a new development that has never happened before. I don't know much about the legacy class 0 sum. I'm sure once players do lore studies and character analysis of Ghost Zero his abilities will be known. With the war over in Zenith I'll be able to travel and navigate it easier. I bet many of the players are moaning and groaning about missing out on the war and the legacy class, but this is for the best. I won't have to deal with a country full of players. I have a long trek ahead of me, and I still have to help mom and dad set up their gaming pods tomorrow along with my new one. I only have a couple hours of daylight left and I want to get a good night's rest for tomorrow's events. As Sarah continues his journey, Gregory Francis is having a borderline fist fight with the mercenary that snagged the legacy class. This damn muscle for hire, I knew it was a bad idea to hire mercenaries to lower the casualties on our side. Harold Marcus proved to be a smarter opponent than I gave him credit for. I'm standing in the middle of the ruined capital city looking at the man who took it. That class belonged to my kingdom and my army. The fact that you pulled an assassination without my knowledge is borderline grounds for treason and death. The mercenary Ghost Zero looks at me with a calculating gaze. He is no doubt stronger than all of us now that he has a legacy class. Now that the coalition has formed, I was hoping that I can empower it with this class. Doesn't look like it's happening now. Ghost Zero looks at me with a small amount of amusement. I'm not a citizen of your country. You hired me to help defeat Zenith and get you to the treasure room. I have held up my end of the bargain. The lousy rewards you offered were insulting since I was the one that did most of the work. I will take the legacy class as my only compensation for this mission. My blood boils at his remarks towards me. I would try and kill him myself, but he is right. He isn't a citizen of my country, so I can't do anything to him except offer up a bounty when we leave the war zone. It won't matter in the long run, I'll never get my hands on that legacy class. I watch Ghost Zero walk off with one of the best defensive classes known to man. I shouldn't have been arrogant to the point of under-rewarding the people who fought for me. In the end this is my fault and mine alone to bear. I turn around and walk the other way now that we have settled our problems. At least he settled his. I plan on getting something from this war. The treasure room that was holding the prize I wanted turned up to be an empty room with a single piece of hay in the middle of the room. I don't know what happened to the treasure, but it's obvious who stole it. Creature man has decided to strike while everyone else was distracted. If I ever find him, I'll show him true torture. The fact that he got everything makes me sick. While the war comes to a conclusion in Zenith, a certain Baron is talking to the temporary leader of Zenith. Baron Jackson's grandfather is the treasurer of state in Zenith, and Baron Jackson is talking with the leader of the rebellion. I haven't talked to my grandfather since the war started. Our family would have remained poor barons if not for him. I'm gathering my troops just like you asked. Once the last of Harold's order is defeated, I'll send them home to their families. Grandfather was the one who started this rebellion and led it in the shadows. He wanted to talk to me in private about something. As you know, Jack, I'm getting older by the day and I can't lead Zenith at my age. I understand wanting to find a successor to the throne, but I don't see how I can help with that. The church would have to approve of me taking the throne. As you can guess, I want you to be the next king of Zenith. I do have some bad news though. I sigh at the last sentence he said. I have a bad feeling that this is going to backfire on me. The only way you can become king is if we join Gregory's coalition, so what will it be, Jack? He wants me to choose. I don't know if I can make a decision like this, and that goes to show my incapability as a leader. If I do become king, I'll be able to change my country for the better, and help keep Slayer's urn secret. I'll be turning my back on the church though, and they have always been a ray of peace and hope for all of man. I'll become the next king grandfather. As much as I hate turning against the church, we need change. The church will stand in the way of that in Zenith. My grandfather smiles at me, guess I've made him proud. I wonder what cousin James and his family will think of this. They are the types that don't want to accept someone they think lower than them as their ruler. My grandfather sits down in his chair on the other side of the hologram. I'm glad that you have made this decision, Jack. Your mother and father would be so proud of the man you have become. My heart aches when I hear that. I wish they lived long enough to see the country they love so much go into the right direction. I'll go and inform Gregory and the rest of the coalition. I'll talk to you again in a few days from now. With those words he turns off the call and I turn around to look out the window. Looks like I'm going to be king of Zenith. Chapter 57, Completing the Story Quest 2. Now that I'm out of the forests and back on a road, I can start making my way to Zenith. I know all of these roads since they are the ones traveled most by players, so I don't need a map. My next steps will be the most crucial in this quest. If I fail to do the right things at the right times, then I'll end up failing this quest. It's getting pretty late out and I feel now is the right time to log off. I quickly set up a tent out of view from the road and get in. I log off and get out of my gaming pod. It's late enough for everyone to be in bed right now. I sit on the couch and turn on the TV and go to my favorite news channel. Once I'm done with this, I'll go to bed. I see a new reporter that I've never seen before. Really young for a news reporter, must be why he got the late show. Today marked a first in Ancient's world, with the first NPC getting a legacy quest after the defeat of King Harold Marcus. Many NPCs say the capital city is in ruins after the long battle. This could prove difficult for players that have their tier-up quests in Zenith. He makes a good point. The destruction of the capital means my tier-up quest might be harder now that my future destination is in ruins. In other surprising news, the guilds that participated in the roaming world boss fight are having a tournament for the rewards. It's supposed to happen in a few days in the country of Salamander. So that's how they put aside their differences. Whoever came up with the idea was smart. The system won't cheat you out of a reward if you win or lose in the tournament. With that tournament going on, more solo players will be catching up to the guild teams. I could have to hurry to make sure that I am the first to tier up. A reward for being the first isn't something I want another to have. That seems to be everything noteworthy, so it's time for bed. I make it back to my room and lay on my big soft bed. While Sarah sleeps, there is a secret meeting happening in Ancient's world. The first to this secret meeting is Creature Man. He has brought all the treasure from his grand heist and is waiting for his partner in crime. I'm having a hard time believing we actually pulled it off and nobody is the wiser. The war proved to be a perfect distraction. My legacy class Shadewalker is truly the best when it comes to stealth. Now that Ghost Zero has his own legacy class, we'll be able to hit plenty of places full of treasure. I hear some walking coming from the entrance. Nobody knows about this place except Ghost Zero and I. You were quicker than expected. Looks like our genius plan worked out, didn't it? I grew up in the same orphanage as this guy. He should have more faith in me. I stand up and walk over to my old friend and we do the same handshake we have always done since childhood. Come in, it's not like we didn't plan this out perfectly. What are you going to do with your 50%? When we started this treasure hunter group, we have always spilt everything 50-50. He usually saves his profits like I do. Madame Zelly always taught us to save our money. He walks over to a rock and sits down. I do the same and look at him on the other side of the treasure. I think I'm retiring from treasure hunting, Creature Man. Now that I have what I need, I can get revenge for what happened to her. So he is still wanting to avenge Zelly. I don't blame him for wanting to do that. She told us to forget our horrible childhoods before she died and live the way we want. I plan on doing just that, but I can't help wanting to kill those bastards too. The night passes and many people from the real world are logged off right now. Except for the guild leaders who participated in the boss battle against Archgrove. Wilted Rose is speaking to her best guild members about the upcoming tournament. This tournament has given us a perfect opening to take the things that are worth the most to us. While the legacy class that's up for grabs is enticing, we want to focus on other things as well. I have sent you all a manifest of the things I want for our guild. I send out a meeting-wide message with everything I want for the guild during this tournament. The legacy class is still on the agenda, but it's at the bottom of the list. Now that my most trusted members know what's going on, it's time to explain the game plan. The tournament will be between the best of every guild and the guild leaders. With so many fighting, this is going to be a big and long tournament that will last for a few days. If you want to hang out with friends or family, I suggest you get off now and spend time with them. It may be a while before you get to see them again. There are tens of thousands of items and gear to fight for, and there are only about 110 total participants. This will go on till most of the player base is doing their tier-up quests. So when this is over, we will be playing catch-up. I'll leave you guys to decide which items you are going for or not, just stick to the manifest. I exit the meeting room with those words and log off myself. I think getting some time out of Ancient's world would be good. All in all, everyone is making major moves in the coming days. The night passes slowly for the people still on Ancient's world, and soon players begin waking up and logging on. Sarah is not one of those people because he has to wait till the new gaming pods get here and set them up. I'm wasting a lot of time just sitting here, but this is for Mom and Dad. After everything they have been through, they deserve to have fun, and playing Ancient's World is a good choice for them. I'm currently waiting on the couch for the delivery, and Mom and Dad are watching their favorite TV show. I can see the tense emotion between the two. They must be scared for the first dive. My best guess is they did some of their own research and are intimidated by it. You guys have nothing to worry about. There hasn't been a dive accident in almost 70 years. Think about it as a chance to be someone other than yourself. I want them to be excited for the new journey, not afraid. They only look at each other, then me, without answering. Mom is just about to start speaking, but the doorbell rings. I can see the boiling rage from the bad timing in my mom's body language. I get up from my spot and make it to the door. I open it and there are 3 robots, each with a separate shipping crate. Take 2 of them to the room upstairs on the far left side of the house. Take the other on the right side upstairs. They register the command and begin to bring the big crates in. I look over to my parents and I can see that they are intimidated. They must not like the idea of going in something like that. I'll go set everything up. I'll come and get you when it's done. I go upstairs and head to my parents' room and open the door. I'm surprised to see the machine are already putting them together. They must have paid for an assembly fee and didn't realize it. That's good for me though, no tedious construction for me. They look almost done too. They will know how to assemble it much faster than a human. I head back downstairs and look to my parents, who are talking to each other in a whisper. These 2 will find out that once they experience Ancient's World they will never want to leave. Now that I think about it, I won't need to leave my gaming pod unless for food or water. This only leaves one problem: how many others are going to start buying the new ZZR 12,000? I'm sure Mom and Dad got it early for us with extra money. I'm sure the major guilds are already having theirs delivered too. Ancient's World is about to get a lot more playtime globally. Chapter 58, Completing the Story Quest 3. I hear footsteps come down the stairs and see Haley gracing us with her presence. She must have been woken up by the machines putting the gaming pods together. You look like the living dead, Haley. Didn't get enough sleep last night. She does look rough right now. She completely ignores my question and heads into the kitchen to get some coffee. I won't bother her if she doesn't want to be bothered. She walks over with her steaming cup of coffee and sits next to Dad. Right before he speaks, the machines make their way down the stairs. This is the sign that they are done. They all make it to the door and close it behind them. I turn my head to my parents with a smile. I just remembered that I have some errands to run today. Mom is the first to try and get out of it. I can't help but chuckle at her attempt to get out of using the gaming pod today. Dad looks ready to do the same thing, but before he could speak, Mom decides to seal the deal. I'm sure your father is excited. Don't wait up for me, honey. She gets up from the couch fast and tries to make a quick exit. I stop her and lift her off the ground so she can't go anywhere. Let me go, Sarah. I have things to do today. You're not getting out of this, and I'll make sure that you guys try Ancient's World today. I put her down and she doesn't try to escape. Let's go upstairs, it's time for your first dive. I leave no room for hesitation and begin to make my way to their room with them following. I reach their door and open it. I look upon the giant and perfectly assembled ZZR 12000S. They were even programmed to plug it in. I hold the door open for both of them to enter before me. They reluctantly enter and slowly approach the gaming pods. I close the door behind us and lock it, just to make it a little harder to leave after coming so far. I'll open it for you, just lay into it and relax. I walk up to both of the gaming pods and open them up. They release with a gentle hiss and fully open. Just lay inside and relax, the headgear will come from the compartment above your head. All it will do is scan your brain waves and gently attach. When I said the words attach, Mom looked ready to run for the door and leave. I figure this is going to be the hardest for her, so I'll start with her. I walk up to my mom and grab her hand. I lead her over to the gaming pod and help her get in. She has nothing to worry about. I just smile at her and lay her against the comfortable padding. I close the latch and look into the little window so she doesn't feel alone. She relaxes and closes her eyes as the gear approaches her head. Spawn in the city of Nelmorp, in the country of Zenith. I'll meet you and Dad there in a few days, all right? She slowly nods her head and then goes completely unconscious. The red light in the pod goes from red to green, signifying that she has started her first dive. I turn around to look at Dad. He seems to be more welcoming to the idea of his first dive. Once you get to your city, selection chose Nelmorp. Mom will look exactly like she does in real life, so it will be easy to find her. She will most likely still be in the spawn area waiting for you. He nods his head and slowly gets into his pod as well. He begins to relax and I close the latch. He soon closes his eyes and the gear begins to make contact. The red light goes green and Dad has started his first dive too. Now since that is out of the way, I can also get going as well. Mom and Dad will probably get off later today to go and pick up Marcus. Nelmorp is on the way to the capital of Zenith. I can stop there and help them with the basics of the game, but who knows, maybe they will figure it out on their own. I make my way to my room and admire the ZZR 12000 in all its glory. This gaming pod revolutionized the DDVR gaming industry. Most no longer worked real jobs when these became affordable to the majority of gamers. Instead of prolonging my wait, I also hop in and close the latch. In my old future I never had one of these, so this is a new experience for me. My body totally relaxes and I find myself on the edge of sleep. The headgear makes contact and a few seconds later I am fully asleep. I load into Ancient's World and wake up in the same place I logged off. This dive feels way different, it feels complete and non-draining. So I really am sleeping in real life, and since the subconscious mind is so powerful, it doesn't feel any stress. Now that Mom and Dad are in game and more than likely done naming their characters, I can ask them next chance I get in the real world so I can send them friend requests. It will make communication in game so much easier. I have a journey ahead of me, but now I don't need to get off anymore. As Sarah is making his way to his destination for his story quest, Violet and Christian have just loaded in. Since this is their first dive, they are having a slightly hard time moving around, well, more than slightly. They have the walking skills of a new toddler on their feet. After loading into the spawn area, they can both see each other from opposite sides. "Honey, I'm on my way," Violet yells to her husband. They both start to make good progress towards each other. However, they both fall down multiple times from the lack of familiarity. They can't help themselves from laughing as they struggle to make their way to each other. After several minutes of laughing and falling, they are within arm's reach of each other. They both relax and collide. "Looks like we did it." Christian marks this as an accomplishment for the two of them. They just overcame their first challenge. The both spend time touch each other's bodies. Not in an inappropriate way, but in a way that is to check the senses. Not long after they begin to get a little inappropriate. However, that is soon stopped. A guard on the city walks up to them and frowns. Public indecency is a serious offense. I'll let you guys off easy this time around. You look like new people and have no shame by the looks of it. Once Violet and Christian realize that they are being weird, they try and get up to look decent, but they continue to fall down on each other. The guard just sighs and walks off. Someone else decides to make an introduction. A player walk up to the husband and wife. She sticks out her hand with a smile. This must be your first dive, hey? The couple look up and smile back. They take the girl's hand and are helped up. They are now standing on their own 2 feet without falling over, but they still have a balance problem. Now that the parents of Sarah are playing Ancient's World, even more is sure to change. Chapter 59, Completing the Story Quest 4. I've been traveling for hours now and I can't help worrying about Mom and Dad. They are new to the game and are not aware that veteran players sometimes take advantage of first-timers. I know they are smart enough to avoid people with ill intentions, but toxic pikers will make their time harder. If they do end up getting mistreated, I'll make sure the responsible party pays for their transgressions against my parents. I'm sure that I'll get to my dungeon in days' time at this speed, and I don't even feel drained. The new gaming pods are extraordinary. I can see why so many wealthy guilds wanted them. Ancient's World will be my path to a future of safety and security for my family. I'm not NAVE enough to think I can remain hidden forever. I need to make sure I have backup plans for when my identity is revealed. I don't want or need a guild, as well as a party, that will only lead to my downfall. Making allies with players seems like a good idea at first, but if I spend too much time with a single person, they will put the pieces together. I know I can trust Mom and Dad, but they are too weak to help me. They also got the equipment and game to have an adventure together. I'm sure I would be intruding on that in a major way. Making allies of NPCs is a gamble almost as big as other players. NPCs can be very deceitful. It's rare to find people like Wilmer or Jackson. They aren't interested in using my power to further their own position. I have no option. I'll just have to wait till I'm high enough level to go for a T.A.W. An ancient passive ability that hides all my information except for a divine being inspecting me. I need to be level 150 tier 3 to go for it though, and I might get discovered by then. I need a temporary solution for now, and the only thing I can think of is staying away from high-leveled NPCs. While Sarah continues his long journey to the double dungeon, others are also having problems. Particularly in the real world at JNX Incorporated. Xander is currently talking to the system in computer language with the technicians. They are trying to find a way to get the system back in their control, but are having no luck. I'm sure Jericho is on his way down here as we speak. This was never supposed to happen. Something changed in Ancient's World and now it's affecting us. Can you tell me anything about the new firewall and security system she has installed? The system has decided to update her security without our knowledge, and now we can't access anything. As I'm about to ask another question, the door swings open and my old friend walks in. Jericho has always been pragmatic. Hopefully he has some ideas on what we should do. I turn back to the main screen and all that's written in response to our commands is access denied. Whatever the system did, we don't have the means to crack its code. We'll need another hyper-intelligent AI to do the work. We have the only one fully developed and alive, so all we can do is wait for a change. As the tech speaks, Jericho walks up beside me. He looks just as mad as I do. All our life's work is being jeopardized by Angelus. She was meant to be perfect, but now she is betraying us. Jericho looks hard at the big screen. I see the glint of an idea in his eyes. He walks up to the computer and begins to input the termination code. I almost want to stop him, but I'm also curious to see what happens. Sir, you do know what you're doing, right? I feel a need to smack the back of the kid's head after that remark. We designed Angelus, we know her in and out. However, the response I see from her on the screen sends chills down my spine. While the secrets of JNX are being sorted out, Ancient's World politics is in a state of incredible tension. with 8 out of the 15 kingdoms forming a coalition of change, the Church is without many of its old and powerful allies helping in the search. News has also reached that Zenith will more than likely be joining the coalition once a new king is crowned. Saintess Lucy is in a very loud argument with the Pope about their next moves. I can see his hesitation and doubt, but now isn't the time to worry about the coalition. It's clear that they only have one term. They want us to stop looking for the sun, while others would see this as a small demand. It's impossible for us to accept this term. I fear war will be on the horizon if we do not fix these problems though. Alex, we have spread our forces thin. I fear that we need to hold off on the search for a few months just to make sure the Holy City is protected. We can't risk an attack here by the coalition. I hate making them sound like an enemy, but there is no neutral ground in war. You will eventually have to pick a side. The rulers that left don't understand the true value of the sun. He is a literal God walking among us. A direct and powerful descendant of the Almighty Father, son of heaven's mightiest and bravest angel. Archangel Michael's father is the Almighty Father. The sun is not something we, as the Church, can leave to be harmed or captured. Alexander looks over at me with pain in his eyes. He is more hurt than anyone that this has happened as his time as the Pope. He must feel like a failure and an insult to his predecessors' legacies. I understand, Lucy, I'll leave everything to you for now. Just leave me be. He looks truly defeated after the last couple of days. I can't imagine the kind of stress he is under. I might as well leave him. He looks like he needs some time alone to process his thoughts. While Saintess Lucy makes her way out of the private office, a world announcement rings out. Worldwide announcement: Baron Jackson of Bluegrass City has been upgraded to King of Zenith. Players will receive a 2x EXP boost to use anytime they want. Once a player reaches level 50 Tier 1, they can help the capital city and war-torn country of Zenith in recovery. Many players cheer out of happiness and immediately use the 2x EXP boost. While the experienced players of Ancient's World begin their grind, a husband and wife are being taught the basics of Ancient's World. Christian is very fast to catch on and is having a better time than his wife. This is just what the two of them needed to enjoy freedom again, and now that their lives are no longer a slave to the banks, they can do whatever they please. I'm excited for when Sarah gets here. This will be the first time I play a game with my son. I have always showed favor towards Haley, but he never resented it. I wish I was as mature as he was when I was his age. I look over and see my wife trying the basic skills and trying out her class. I must say, Ancient's World is an amazing place. I do want to ask what that announcement was earlier. Snow Princess, could you tell me what that announcement was earlier? I turn to the young woman that is helping us learn the ropes of the game. She tells me all about the system and how announcements work. She even told me about a player with a divine class called the Son of Archangel Michael. Talk about a lucky find, all we have is common classes like Standard Bladesman. I look forward to the adventures I'll have with my wife. Hopefully Sarah wouldn't mind us tagging along once we catch up to him. Chapter 60, Q&A for all my readers. Ask in the comments any questions you have as long as it isn't spoiler territory. I will answer any questions that are asked and feel free to discuss amongst yourselves as well. I hope this doesn't upset too many of you, but I haven't had a day off in almost 60 days. Thank you all for spending time reading this story and showing support. P.S. Have a great rest of the week reading other stories.